Here they run. What a bunch of fairies. That's the Norwich police. They love killing people, but they're scared of a camera. Right? They still ain't arrested Pagan or Santiago. Any of these actual criminals. Hardcore criminals. Right here. Is this the same one the other day that wouldn't help us? Out here to fight crime, right? But they wouldn't fight crime. The biggest crime. I'm pretty sure it's the same one, but I won't know until I see. He's probably just going to drive away because that's what they do. Hardcore murderers, but they're scared of a camera. That's what they do out here in Norwich. Justice for Jacob Evans. Right, guys? Can't see his name tag. This is what they love doing. They don't actually like fighting crime. They'd rather just, you know what I mean, write tickets and deal with petty stuff. Once in a while, they'll make somebody eat some dirt and leave. You know what I mean? Kill somebody, get away with it. The great Inspector General still hasn't even looked into anything. As of the other day, he didn't even know there was inconsistencies in the medical examiner's report. It's sad that normal people can pick these things out, but these professionals can't. How's he the IG? He just got that officer, that video we just showed. What up, BZ? That video I just showed, that was Connecticut. The Inspector General is going to, quote unquote, investigate that, right? You think that criminal is going to get held accountable for shooting his gun, mistaking it for a taser, almost hitting an innocent person? Well, maybe not innocent, but you know what I mean. Somebody that definitely didn't deserve that. They didn't hit him with the vehicle, so it sounds like they didn't even have a reason to really run up on him. Right? If he was the one driving the vehicle, wouldn't they have hit him with misuse of plates? So they really had no reason to stop him. In my opinion. Yeah, stop the driver, right? I'm pretty sure this is the same clown the other day, though, that refused to help us arrest Pagan or Santiago. You know what I mean? The murderers that work right there at that police station. And this is a great service you get out here, but these police are out here crying and they want a new $1.something million police station, right? The mayor says they deserve it. I think they deserve a doghouse, not a new police station. What up, R guy, BZ, Rob? I haven't been doing lives much. Jesse, but it was nice out, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna go for a walk. I've never seen a mail truck in an accident. Have you? I mean, I'm sure it happens a lot because they're always out, but I'm not really concerned about that. I'm concerned about this coward right here that wouldn't help me the other day arrest the criminals. What up, John? I'm pretty sure this is him. I won't know till he gets out, but it looks like him. Either which way, they all know. They all know, and they're all doing absolutely nothing about it. So, what is he, retarded? Writing on his horn? You know, it beeps if you push it. Have you, Rob? I mean, I'm sure, I don't know. I'm probably sure I have. I just never even realized it. You gotta think about it. They're out driving all day, weaving in and out of traffic. I mean, this is kind of a weird spot to get in an accident, though. Like, what are you doing? It's a straightaway. Another great canine officer out here. We got Nelson. We got this coward. I don't really know of any out here that are even decent. At all. None of them. And since this stuff only does vertical now, I got 360 camera going. Well, this is what we see out here, I guess. And they've also made it now, so now they can they're going to attack the homeless because they hold signs. That's what a great town this is. And you know these losers enforce it. They love picking on the homeless. We got another one over there. That's a manager, it looks like. Maybe. I can't tell from here. But, yeah, you know they love attacking the homeless. Oh, you're holding a sign? Exactly, Jesse. Justice for Jacob. Bunch of murderers. Why didn't you guys arrest Pagan yet? Santiago. Bunch of cowards. Absolutely, BZ. But Norwich, Connecticut just made an ordinance on it. And they think it's illegal because they said dangerous places. Yet they didn't even mark out any dangerous places. And I know what they're talking about. They're talking about the median right up there where there's grass in between the road. And anywhere else. You know these idiots don't even know. Oh, dangerous place? I'm going to make that up as it goes. I'm waiting probably, I don't know, I'm going to wait till it's been in effect for a month, and I'm going to go pull all the records for everybody that they hit off in the past month, because I was told that they were out before it even passed, getting ready to enforce it, picking on these dudes and threatening them. So, and it's also like this road here, there's another one right there where people, that's the one that goes that way, and people will stand at the end of that, but that's absolutely not a dangerous spot. If you're on the sidewalk, it's not dangerous. But as we know, I haven't met too many Norwich officers that are bright. There goes another one leaving. I wonder where they're all going. Maybe they're coming here. You know, they get scared of cameras easily. I want to know for sure, but I'm pretty sure this is the same one that drove away the other day when I was asking him for help. Oh, John, I forgot about that. You're right. That's more dangerous than anything because they actually stand in the road. But we all know they're not gonna harass their fellow gang buddies. You wear a red uniform, you're on the team. Always keep your cameras on, especially with these cowards. As we know, Norwich, just like Willimantic, doesn't even like to use their cameras half the time. Look at when Musternani attacked me and stole my ID. He didn't turn his camera on until the second half of the interaction. You know, there's laws against that, but for some reason these retards don't get held accountable when the laws are broken. When they break the laws, it's okay. Because I'm assuming something happened with this. Either, I would say, I don't see any damage, but he's in here writing something. Oh, there goes another ferry. So I would assume that there's some sort of accident, but I don't really care about them. I just care about these. Absolutely, BZ. You can't get any of these retards charged. They're trying to get me right now for telling a cop to scan my plate. Oh, is it? From 60 feet away. Yeah. They won't, the cops that broke worse laws, they took their costumes and went to towns where they don't even have power to harass my family. The only way they're allowed to leave town in Connecticut is if they have a warrant or they're in pursuit, which they did neither. And I don't understand why they stopped people here. Unless this vehicle broke down, I don't see why they didn't move them off this bridge. I see them pull people over on this goddamn bridge all the time. And what do? Absolutely nothing. They just leave them here. Where is this coward? We gotta keep him in view. I don't want them. I don't really care about them. Is he hiding? Yeah, he's hiding. No, this is a different one. Maybe he'll help us. Garden, it sucks living in the USA. What do you mean? This place, they're attacking homeless for holding signs. That's what it's like living in the United States, where they steal everything from you. You're pretty much a modern day slave. That's what happens. Go do. Go do? Is that what it is? We'll let him finish handling his business. And we'll ask him if he'll help us arrest these murderers. He's probably just going to drive away like the other one. There was two when I got here. Well, taking pictures with his personal phone. Why is he doing that when he has a body camera on? That's what I don't get. I don't understand why they take their phones out to take pictures when they have it on their body camera. Are they literally that lazy? What number is this? K9 what? I'm glad the people aren't being out of control. So the K9 units aren't marked. It just says K9. Is there? I mean, it would be okay if there was only one at a time. Oh, look at that! They got fresh wheels, or did they just shine them? It looks like they licked them. No, not everyone. Barely anybody has guns. Guns aren't a. It's not like you think. Guns are a privilege. You don't have a Second Amendment right. You have a privilege that you have to pay for, and if you never get in trouble, then you can own one. But yeah, not everybody. What up, Toe for Life? Not everybody has guns. It's a rare. I mean, it's not rare. Tons of people do have them, but there should be a lot more people with them. All these criminals have them now. It's weird. If you commit a crime 10 years ago, you can't own a gun. These clowns go out and commit crimes on a daily basis. And what do they get? They get pistols, they get ARs, they get whatever they want. Thanks, Toe. Appreciate you, bro. Just checking out this stop. We know how Norwich cops are. I don't know this guy. I can't act like I do, but he hasn't arrested the murderers. Nobody has, so at this point, every single one of them is a piece of trash. But you can't expect much less, much more.
Have a good day, okay? Good? You got everything you need, bud? So what's if I heard you're here and it's just tire mark?
Oh, you got a tire mark. Oh, no. But we'll make sure they get out of here. I don't want to interrupt them. That's usually when they have fits. Cops here don't really understand what interfering is and stuff like that. So if you talk, they'll simply attack you. Good, how are you?
Good, man.
Can you help us arrest Pagan and Santiago?
I can't hear that.
Can you arrest us? Can you help me arrest Pagan and Santiago? They committed a murder on October 15th of last year, and we can't get them charged.
I don't know. That's something to do with me, man. That's one of them things.
You can't arrest them?
I can't do that. No, that's something to the chief.
Cops can't arrest cops? Oh, so it's the chief? The chief's the one? He's the one actually hiding all the records. He's the one covering it.
They don't let us do that.
You too. Do they really, BZ? Connecticut doesn't. It actually specifically states, if you look under our statute for interfering, for breach of peace, for any of that stuff, that's why it's so wild that they keep arresting me. It clearly states that if you're going to arrest somebody for speech, it has to be fighting words. So this is now the fourth officer, so it's conflict of interest. How is it not a conflict of interest if they go out and arrest everybody in the town that they work in? Right? I mean, they're arresting people to better their business. That's what they're doing. They're ticketing people to better their business, not keep anybody safe, not do anything like that. So I would imagine that would be a conflict of interest too, wouldn't it be? But it's, well, BZ, I don't really think it's just because it hasn't been challenged in some states as much as it should be. And honestly, it hasn't really been so much here in Connecticut either, but there are some cases that have went, but there have also been cases that have really hurt us. Like Aioli versus State, or Aioli versus Connecticut. They love using that one. And they claim that's the one that means you have to identify. Even though we have no statute for identifying outside of a motor vehicle. If you don't, they arrest you for interfering. Even though it says under the statute too that you're not supposed to just arrest people for interfering or for not IDing. It says you can be arrested in certain situations, but look at New Britain. They didn't have anything on me. They didn't have a thing, and they arrested me for not IDing and charged me with interfering. And they truly believed that they could. And then when we got to court, they changed their whole story, and they didn't arrest me for interfering and trespassing like they said. They arrested me because they thought I was touching cars because one of the cops was setting off car alarms. It didn't even make sense. So it can say whatever it wants. If these retards don't know how to read it or don't read it, which they don't, it's never going to get enforced properly. And the problem is I'm pretty sure it's like this everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. When the cops mess up, and I honestly never believed it was this way until I saw it firsthand. I think most people believe if you do something wrong and you go to court, court's going to willingly say, oh, the cops messed up, you did nothing wrong, and dismiss it, right? I mean, that's what a reasonable person would believe, but that's not how it works. You go to court and they nail you. They literally try and get you to take anything to get out of it. Like, they're getting mad at me right now because I have accept or reject this week for telling a cop to scan my girl's plate from 60 feet away. While there was a chick 2 feet away from the cops swearing at me and causing a huge scene and really stirring some crap. But what happens? I got charged with breach of peace, even though I never swore, even though I didn't even talk to her, other than she doesn't know what's going on and I'd have no business with her. I got charged. They literally went to a whole different town, to my girl's mother's house, didn't even use their cameras. There's no footage of this. They ran their mouths about me. I only know it's true because my girl's parents told me, and I'm lucky that they actually know me because they're like a little bit higher class. I'm not saying they're top, like rich, but they're above where I am, and it very easily could have been, they could have used it, they could have not liked me anymore, you know what I mean, like, or really believe this stuff, like cops were saying, he's a bad dude, he's a troublemaker, but they're so dumb. They started off lying to her with something that she knew was a blatant lie. So what are you going to trust after that? You know what I mean? They told her that her daughter was driving me around all day, which, what would that matter if my girlfriend was driving me around? Which she wasn't, because she was actually at her parents' house all day. She left there to come get me. Like, I was out making sure they opened up our parks because they closed all of our public parks and made them off limits the day before. So, because of something they saw on Facebook. They didn't even have any real tips. They didn't have any leads. They closed it down because they said they saw something on Facebook. And guess what? Absolutely nothing happened. And we paid all these retards to sit around in our parks eating pizza, spending our money. Well, I'm glad this guy's here. It means that they haven't messed with him. I'm going to ask him too. Hey, bud. Have they been messing with you? They've been leaving you alone? Have they been messing with other people? You know they passed that thing, right?
Yeah, but I think it's like real busy intersections, you know? I mean,
They said dangerous places, but you could be in a busy intersection. Anybody else could.
I think it's the cops just want to be a dick.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. But I just want to see if they are messing with people over.
No one said anything.
Well, you're fine here. They can't do anything. They'll try, but all right. Keep your head up, bud. So, he hasn't been messed with, which is good. I don't want to see any of these guys messed with. They're already at the bottom of the barrel, and these losers want to pick on them. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You've never seen a real gun? I mean, guns aren't dangerous. People are dangerous. And if people are going to kill people, they're going to kill people anyway. So it doesn't matter if they're going to do it with a gun or not. I honestly would feel a lot safer with a gun around than the opposite. You know what I mean? I don't think I'd feel scared. But that's just how I was raised. And they do different things to different people. You know what I mean? Like, it's a Second Amendment right? It's a right. We don't have rights anymore. They've taken all of our rights and they've turned them into privileges. You don't have a right to travel. You don't have a right to bear arms. You don't have a right to free speech. You don't have a right to any of it. They will arrest you and charge you for any of these quote-unquote rights. And everything they can, they take and they turn into a privilege. And they want you to pay for. You can't just have a gun. You got to pay for all the paperwork and the transfer and the registration. And then if it's they change it and they make it illegal, they're going to come to your house and knock on your door and try and take it. Like, it's basically like living in modern day Nazi Germany. That's kind of the closest thing I can compare it to, I guess. Like in the United States, you can't even look at, nobody's here. If I cross the road like this and there was a cop here, there's a good chance I would be attacked, even though it's legal. They attacked me last year for crossing the road when nobody was. They called it jaywalking when I wasn't jaywalking. The cop didn't even know what jaywalking was. And even though he was wrong, and he assaulted me, and he slammed me on the hood of his car, and he literally stole my ID. I never got my ID back. Nothing happens. But I'll tell you what, the worst criminals, the worst, work in those buildings right there, the courthouses. And I'm sure it's probably like this in every state, but in Connecticut, the courts are the worst. They have they're marshals, and they're considered peace officers, except the marshals are even dumber than the cops, dude. The marshal there has called the cops, him and an ex-cop have called the cops on me over 10 times in the past year. He's called and lied and said I swore on the sidewalk, and he had a witness, and he tried to get me charged. They stole my phone. They literally seized my phone and then tried to get into it. They tried to search my phone after they had it. Then they called the state police and they made false statements. And you know, the great state police of Connecticut, they just listen. If it's their gang buddies telling them anything, that's who they listen to. They don't listen to you. They don't listen to the people that pay them. They listen to their butt buddies. So they literally seized my phone for 15 days. And when I got it back, guess what? They tried getting into it. Right? That's a civil rights. That's a violation of my 4th Amendment. What happens? Nothing. You know why? Because the police will not. You can't even get the state police to come out here. Any town where there's town police, if you call the state police and you're like, hey, these guys just did something wrong, or they didn't, you know what I mean? Like when they kicked me out of parole and they weren't supposed to. I called the state police. You know what happened? They don't come. The day that they stole my phone, I called the police before anything. And you know what? They said, all right, we'll be there in a little bit. After an hour, I called them back, and you know what they said? Well, we're not coming. We're going to send somebody down there later. And that's what they did. They went and got their side and stole my phone. What happened when the tow company, the police department's tow company, stole my tools? What happened? I called the cops. They said that they would come with me the next day to get my tools, and they never did. When I called them, they said, we're not coming. So people have this misconception that police have to come if they're called. These dudes don't have to do anything. They don't do it. They literally, their goal is to sit around. Norwich specifically loves to hide in the back of every parking lot they can. And they either do nothing or write tickets. They don't stop crime. They don't prevent crime. They don't really do anything crime related. They just make up infractions or hit people off for minor stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why, if it's all about change, right? And they don't want people to speed, I think they would get more back to the community if they made somebody do community service for a day over a little fine for them to put in their pockets. Look at Willimantic Police Department. You go get records there, they don't even give you receipts. They pocket your money. I mean, who knows for sure, but the last time I got records, it was $100 and something. And you know what? I still don't have a receipt to this day. I email them and ask them for a receipt, and guess what? I don't get it. They don't have it. So it's basically like doing this really opened my eyes, but it really really opened my eyes. Like almost too much. Like it's a lot knowing what's going on all the time, and there's not much you know what I mean? They're gonna do what they want to do. The only thing you can do is document it, and at the end of the day, fight it, because they're going to attack you repeatedly, and they're going to arrest you repeatedly. Look at Willimantic. It's all the same cop. It's nobody else. It's literally the same cop that keeps arresting me for nothing. Yet nobody knows. Like, it's not clear what's going on. Court can't figure it out. I mean, it's clear to any normal, reasonable person what's going on, but all these idiots that get paid really great money to know this stuff and do this stuff, they can't figure it out. It's kind of sad, but I'm gonna jump off. I'm not gonna. No, New England Truth. What up, bro? I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Oh, Joe Cool. What up, Joe Cool? Good to see you, bro. It's just Norwich is crazy. Norwich is. They killed that dude. They killed Jacob Evans. They attacked him on October 15th. He died November 1st. How are you fine when they show up and then they get you in the woods, dude? His mom went back 2 days later and found all his clothes. He was dressed when they got there. She found all his clothes and a police baton. Like, he had dirt and leaves in his, not just in his throat, in his lungs. They had to clean out his lungs and his throat 3 times. And after 15 days, he died from an infection. Or, you know what I mean? They tased him. They said they didn't tase him, but there's taser cartridges down there. You know what I mean? Like, and this was a dude that was in hypothermic. He was hypothermic, and his liver was failing. You could tell me 4 or 5 cops couldn't get him under control. The cops were never even called. Medical was called. An ambulance. The restaurant owner asked him if he wanted to call the ambulance, and he said yes. And that was honestly the worst mistake of his life. Unfortunately, like, and who wants to think like that? My liver's shutting down. I'm hypothermic. I need some help. I'm gonna call the police, and they show up and kill you. That's the reality of it, though, and a lot of people don't understand. That's what's happening out here. And look at the cops. The cops ain't even in trouble. The police department and the inspector general are actively covering it. They won't release any of the information. We just got some of the FOIAs back the other day stating they won't release any of the information because the inspector general is doing an investigation. But as I said before, the inspector general has been at it for months, and he still doesn't even know that there was inconsistencies in the medical examiner's report. How do you not know that? That's like the first thing you would pick out, right? So, I don't know, and I don't understand how they're keeping records. The mom can't even do a proper investigation. She's got a lawyer and everything. They can't investigate because they won't release the records. The only records they have released are the ambulance records, and guess what they say? They call him a victim, and they talk about all the trauma he had that he didn't have when the police showed up. So, it's just wild. Who else can go murder somebody and nothing? They told everybody he died from drugs. That wasn't even listed in the medical examiner's report. They said there was a minute amount of drugs in his system, but they never listed his death from drugs. Yet the police department and everybody, the whole community, nobody's upset about it because everybody thinks the kid died from drugs. Not the police murdered him. Pagan and Santiago murdered him. It's the bottom line. I don't know how else to put it. And it kind of sucks that nobody's upset. Like, where's the riots? Or not, I don't want anybody to riot. I'm not saying that, but every time it seems like people die in other states, the people get together. They go to the departments. They protest. You know what I mean? Nothing happens here. Nothing happens in Connecticut. So the mother has her FOIA hearing next month. So we'll see what FOIA has to say about it, but I don't understand how they're keeping records. That doesn't seem like a valid reason to keep records. This guy who's claiming to do investigation, who's not, it has an open investigation, so they can't release the records. I feel like the mother and anybody else should be able to do their own. Thank you, good time. I feel like anybody else should be able to do their own investigation. Why do the people that suck at investigating, we know they suck at investigating, get to be the only ones to investigate? It makes no sense to me. Fucking wind. I don't know, though. That's pretty much what it is out here. And it's not just Norwich. It's like this everywhere. But we'll see. I'm going to jump off once I see him. That's Long Island. Yeah, Long Island got that same court that I just showed. When they stole my phone, Long Island, they kicked him out of court weeks before that for his phone. Nobody, if you're a citizen journalist in Connecticut, they won't let you enter the courthouse with your phone. I've never been in trouble at court. I've never done anything wrong at court. Yet I can't bring my phone into court. They've kicked me out of court claiming I had a phone after they let me in and they knew I didn't have a phone. Like, these are the retards we're dealing with. But Long Island kind of picks and chooses what he wants to do. I feel like we need, and he only knows the beginning of it. Like, it's so much worse for anybody that actually has to live down here. This is a daily event, not a when I decide to come down thing. And it sucks because there's a lot of people, dude, that get targeted. Look at Willimantic. Willimantic targets immigrants, the poor, and addicts. That's what they want. And they get away with it. Because they know who they're picking on. These people can't stand up for themselves. And then anybody that goes out there and says anything about it, look at what happens. They beat them up and they arrest them every time. Look at that kid that stood up, the trans kid at Third Thursday that stood up and said, why do you have that 14-year-old in a chokehold? An illegal chokehold that you're not even supposed to be doing. What'd they do? Punched him in the face. And guess what happened? Nothing. The department protected him. They wouldn't release any of the records, his name, anything. We're just going to get those this week. So I actually have to go inspect the records at that police department this week. I haven't had time, and I got FOIA. I think I got a FOIA hearing on Thursday again for that. So they're trying not to give me the videos. They claim that there's too many minors in the video. I told them to edit it. They're gonna show me what they think I can see, and then if I don't agree, the guy running the FOIA board meeting said he'll review it and he'll see what he thinks. But I know I could edit that video. I know I could put little blocks over these people's faces. These guys are just so dumb that they can't do it. They put blocks over the whole person, and they're like, the whole screen's gonna be black, and that's why we can't. We're not gonna do it. So I don't agree with it. I don't think they should be charging people for records if they're gonna keep it. You should be able to get a receipt for your records, you know? Like, yeah, you can't because they're pocketing it. I literally have to request the lobby footage from that day just to prove that I was there and I paid for these records, and they won't give me a receipt. But why else wouldn't they give a receipt? Because it's not going to the PD. Even if it is, this is my opinion, you shouldn't have to pay for records at all. Like, what do we already pay for this stuff? The paper they're using, you know what I mean? The discs or the software, they pay for that all at once. Why are they charging us again for it? Because they're thieves. That's the bottom line. These dudes steal as much as they can from everybody. But Wes, I wouldn't doubt it. Honestly. Like, look at what happens when the cops kill people out here. They don't even look into it, and then they lie to everybody. They could be pulling the wool over everybody's eyes, and ain't nobody gonna know unless they actually look into it or they're there. And even looking into it, look at what happens. They withhold records. Why would, like, even that video I just showed a little while ago with the cop shooting the taser and shooting his gun thinking it was his taser. That just happened a few weeks ago. Why did the Inspector General only release 2 30-second clips of that? Why didn't he release the full video? It makes no sense to me. He's the only one that fell in the water. They claim his body camera got wet. Why aren't your body cameras waterproof? Wouldn't you know you're going to be working in the rain and out in the weather, so why would you not have a waterproof body camera? And if it's not waterproof, why don't they have waterproof cases? Like, this is common sense stuff. And what I'm learning is cops have the least common sense out of anybody. Look at New London. New London's the next town over from where I'm at. They got sued for refusing to hire a cop that was too smart. Like, we hear it all the time. Oh, they only hire dumb cops. Like, and we know because they're all the same. They all have the same. I mean, not every single one, but a majority of them all have the same traits and act the same way. And there's a reason behind it. And our great courts here ruled that they can hire whoever they want, and they don't have to hire people, because if they're too smart, it's going to be a high turnover rate. So instead, we're stuck with these idiots that don't know the difference between their taser and their gun, or don't know what free speech is, or don't know what interfering is. And they said if we want it changed, we as a community have to come together as a whole and stand up and say, we want the laws changed. Oh, I gotta go back here. I forgot about that. But, and what are the odds of that happening? A few years ago, it was real low, and I feel like it's still really low now. Most people aren't concerned with anything unless it affects their day-to-day life. And then once it's over with, they're done with it already. So, like, the mayor here, you can't even go to the town meeting and speak if you don't give your name and address. I have 3 or 4 times the amount of followers on my page than this whole town has as residents in Norwich. And you're going to want me to go up there and give my address? I'm not doing that. And if you don't give your name and address, they call their thug cops up, and thug cops come out and harass you. It doesn't even make sense. But that's why they're attacking homeless and making it so the homeless can't hold signs. Look at the piece of trash mayor they have. It's nothing. It's expected. Just like Willimantic, all these towns they have literal retards running them. So I'm gonna jump off, guys. I'll jump back on when I see him because my phone's not all the way charged. But I got my camera too, so if anything, we'll get them. And I'm gonna keep asking every time I see them if we can charge these murderers. And so if it's a conflict of interest, why haven't they called the state police, right? Why haven't they called anybody else? Because they're not going to do anything about it. They're going to let him get away with trying to kill Jacob Evans. Just like they let all these retards every day that work at court, that give you tickets, right? The prosecutors and all that. Every one of these guys park illegal every day. They park in police parking. They park in handicap parking. They park in private property. Even though that whole garage is right there is their garage. That's their garage. Only they can park in it. Yet they don't. So I actually have the bench trial coming up for when the guy attacked me for crossing the street, and he said I jaywalked, and I did it. And even though our statute says I was correct, you just can't impede traffic. The prosecutor, which was the same prosecutor who I got a ticket on his car and had a hissy fit, for some reason was his prosecutor when I went in. And even though he read the statute, he just couldn't comprehend it. He couldn't get it, so I had to set a bench trial. So we'll see. I actually have to come file motions and stuff, but I can't even come down here alone because look at what they do. Last time I was here, they lied. They had my phone stolen. They literally tried to have me arrested for trespassing at court. I was trespassing at my court date. That's the type of people we're dealing with. That's these marshals. We need to abolish the marshals. We're the only state in the whole continental United States that doesn't have sheriffs or elected officials in policing. It's kind of wild. So, alright, I'll see you guys. Rob, John, Wes, Good Time, Joe Cool. I appreciate everybody. Dr. Mike, Michaela, Scott. I appreciate you, Good Time, too. That helps, bro. BZ, New England Truth, Batman, Joseph Turner, everybody. John B, John Denicola, Corruption Exposed, Eyes on 5. That's my guy, guys. Everybody. I don't know how many people are in here, but I appreciate everybody. I'm going to go get some cigarettes and some food. And I'm going to continue trying to find somebody that'll arrest these murderers, I guess. So, we'll be back on in a bit. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'll see you guys on the next one.